Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. And I have my screen set up a little bit differently here, and I hope that's going to work for you guys as well. What I have over here on the left-hand side is I have the student view for the classroom that I'm in, and over here on the right side is actually the teacher view. So this is what you see as the teacher, and this is what the students are seeing inside your classroom. I'll be going back and forth to admit people. So if I'm shifting my eyes over here, you know what I'm doing. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. What I wanted to do was to share what the student view looks like, because oftentimes, since we don't get to work in that environment very much, we're constantly working on the teacher side. When we communicate with students, it may look a little bit different for them than it does for us. And I just want you to kind of see that and also go through some of these assignments just so that you can see what they're seeing and what that means to you in your classroom and turning things in. Okay, so here we go. So first, I just want to kind of show you this interface right here. This is actually my daughter who's logged in. She's not real happy that she has to do extra work, but she really doesn't. So it's okay. It's all good. So I can see her picture up here. And this is in incognito window. So it looks darker, and that's why it's dark up here. And up here is just a regular window. So no problems there. So over here, she has the stream, which you can see that her stream looks a little bit different than mine. She still has a place where she can share something with the class, and so do I. And also, when I look at assignments, I don't see that in-depth feel that I often see over here, because here you can see that I assigned a PDF, and I also know how many have turned it in and how many students have had it assigned. She doesn't get to see those, okay? All she sees is that she has an assignment that's been assigned to her and she needs to do it, okay? Now, also over here, she has what is upcoming, what is going to be due. So this assignment right here is due on Monday. That's not all the assignments that are actually due or assigned to her. It's just the ones that are coming up. Okay. So let me scroll down a little bit further. And you can see it's a little bit different. I'll go to this assignment here. Once again, I can see all these numbers right here. She's just seeing the assignment. Now, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. And yeah, that's exactly where I want to stop for today. So we're going to go through these assignments. I'm just going to show you the student end of it. And so here's one right here. It's just a classroom syllabus. On mine, it's the same thing. So it's just a doc that she'll open. I'll click on it. And she really doesn't have anything to do here. It's just a doc. It's actually part of the materials that I created. And that's all she's looking at. So I just want to kind of go through these together just so you can see what they look like. And it's going to be kind of short and sweet for some of these. Now, right here, this is a new assignment, and I'm going to click on it. This is what the student would do right here. Just click on it. Oh, and by the way, they can also add a class comment. So if they're confused on the instruction, they can say something like this. She can type in here and say, let's see, how about R? Are we only supposed to watch the video? Okay, and she can post a question right there. And notice when she does, she has a little comment right here that she's posted a question. And then over here, notice it automatically updated, and that was pretty quick. Here's the question right here. I have a chance as a teacher to reply to this. Also, the other students can reply to that if you have comments open so that they can do that. So let's look at this assignment. And I'll just show you how that reply works. So I'll click right here. And so it automatically brings up her email address. So it's addressing it to her. So that lets them know that I'm talking about the question that she asked. And so I can click right here and say something like, be sure to read all of the directions in the assignment. And then I can post that. And sooner or later, it'll update over here. And we'll just wait on that. We got a few more people to admit, so it's all good. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and dig into the assignment. So I'm gonna click here. And right here it says read the directions in the doc and answer the questions using correct grammar and complete sentences. So it looks like there's a Google Doc here. And also I have this video to watch. Now, when the students open this up, they may be a little confused if they're not seeing the right stuff in the right order. So they may just kind of have to go through here and kind of figure out what they're doing. And it'll get easier for them as they do it. But I want you to notice this. There is a turn in button. And that turn in button right there, it actually can be used right now without them having doing anything. But that's a problem because, well, they haven't done anything. So they may have accidentally turned this in. And what happens is they will then have an unsubmit button where they could unsubmit it. So let's say that they actually turn this in, okay, just by accident. So click on turn in. So now it's turning that assignment in. And right now, I now have an unsubmit button. So if the teacher hasn't graded this yet, then you can go ahead, the student can go ahead and unsubmit that, and then go back and actually work on the assignment. And notice my numbers changed over here if you didn't catch that, but they did. Okay, it went from 1 turned in, so now it's changed again. So see how that's reflecting? Everything is updating for you as the teacher here as to what the students are doing. So I'm going to click on this video right here. And it opens up here. And by the way, I had to approve this.
So as we all know, there's a new coronavirus that's circulating in the world.
I had to approve the video, and that's fine. That's something you have to do in YouTube. If not, the students will get a message that's not approved. Okay. And now I'm going to go right here to where this Google Doc is. So they would watch the video. I'll click this open. And so this is her assignment. It has her name up here. This is what I named the assignment for the teacher end, okay? And then this is where she can respond. So I'm just going to type something in here real quick. Let's see. My life has been turned upside down. I now have 2 parents who are my teachers. Okay. Now, when she's ready and she's finished typing, she can go right here to the turn in button and turn it in. Now, this turn in button only shows on a Google Doc. Okay. So no matter what the assignment is, if you're opening it up, you're going to expect that if it's a Google Doc, it'll have a turn in button. If it's a Google slide deck or even a spreadsheet, it's not going to have a turn in button. Okay, so we'll go right here to turn in. And it says you have attached work, which is the Google Doc. It's right there. And it says, do you want to turn it in? And I'm going to select yes. Okay, now it's turned in late because it's past the due date, but that's okay. She still has the opportunity to unsubmit if she wants to. She'll always have that opportunity until I grade it on the teacher end, okay? All right. So I'm going to scroll up here, and I want to go back to some of the work that she has to do just to show you what the other assignments look like. Now, there is a quiz here, and I'll show you what the quiz looks like. It's a very short quiz, and we'll open it up. So again, they go right here, click on that, and it shows that I have a quiz to do. And guess what? Before I even take the quiz, I can choose Mark as done as a student. So as a teacher, the only way that you'll know that they have completed the form, if they're choosing Mark as done, is you can actually go back to the form and look at the responses and see if the student has actually completed the quiz. Now, again, most of our students are going to do it the right way. If they click open this quiz, I want to show you something in just a moment. I want to click on this right here, the forms. So here they are in test mode. I'm collecting their email address. And so it says, what is your first name? And I'm going to type in her name. And then what color is the flower of a redbud tree? Well, she's a pretty bright kid. She knows that it's purple. Okay, so she's going to click on purple and hit submit. Now, when she does that, she has 2 options. She can open up the assignment, or she can view her score. Well, what I want you to see is that she will still have both of these choices just by going back to the tab that this was in, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to open assignment. And guess what? It went ahead and said turned in for her, because it's smart enough to know that when you deploy a Google form through Google Classroom the correct way, it's going to get the turned in already for her. So that's a beautiful thing. Okay, so I'm going to close that out. And now I'm going to go over here to view score. Okay, and my score is 10 out of 10. Okay, because it was a self-graded quiz. All right. Now I'm going to close this out too. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to clean up my screen a little bit. And now that's turned in, I'm going to go to my next assignment. I'm going to close. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to see that anymore. Once you have completed the Google Doc, it's totally okay that it says expired because you've already turned it in. So I'm going to close that out too. Now I'm going to go back to the stream, okay, and see what my next assignment is. Okay, so this one is turned in late. I get that feedback as a student. This one is turned in. So now right here, I have another question to answer. So we're going to click on that. And so I'll click on that right there. And here's the question. It says solve for 20 plus the quantity of 15 minus 5 end of quantity times 3. So she will do that math and then she'll answer the question. Now, this is just a question, and you know that it is because it has that question icon. So the teacher created a question, and this is a way to get some instant feedback. Also a nice way to do an exit ticket. If you were like in a physical classroom, it'd be a nice way to do that. But it's also a nice feel just to see where kids are, how they are doing, and if you need to reteach something. So let's do this real quick. So this is 10 times 3, that's 30 plus 20. So the answer is 50. So we'll click on 50 and we'll click turn in. Submit answer. All right, let's take a little time to do that. Notice my numbers over here changed. And notice this also, now they see a graph of what everybody in the class has answered for that question. Okay, they didn't see that graph before, so their answer is not biased, but they do get to see what the most popular answer is after they have actually taken the question. They've answered the question. Okay, all right, and notice it also says turned in, so she's done. So I'm going to go back to my classroom, go back to the stream. There's that question. It's completed. Now let's look at this question. So this is a little bit different. So all these are different because I want you to see how they look for you and for the students, okay? It's real important for you to be familiar with what that looks like on the student end. Okay. All right, so here it says, watch the crash course video on the War of 1812 below and read the text on the website below from the History Channel. Okay, so I have a YouTube video to watch and I have a website right here to read. And again, I have a marked as done, but it's worth 20 points. So this is an assignment that may need a little bit of tweaking. Right now, there's not really a good way for the student to let you know that he or she has actually done both of the things that you've asked them to do. There's not a Google Doc to respond to. And there's just not a real good way for them to convey to you that they've actually done it, because questioning them or having them reflect on what they've seen is really important in times like this, because it's distance learning. It gives them time to absorb what they've seen or what they've watched or read, and it also gives you a way to know that they've actually done that. So after I've watched this and after I've watched or read this, I'll just open this real quick and I'll show you that. So,
hi, I'm John Green. This is Crash Course U.S. History, and today.
By the way, John Green is awesome, hilarious, really good. Please go and find him if you have not already. They do the Crash Course videos. Just search for that and you'll find it on YouTube. Okay. So then I'm going to go over here to click on this. And this is the website that I'd read about the War of 1812. It's the History Channel. Okay. So let's pretend that I did that. So I'm going to click off of there. And now after the students have done that, the only thing that they need to do, they may say to you, I've already done that. but the thing that they're missing is they haven't clicked marked as done. Okay, so I'll scroll up over here, and we should see some numbers change when they click on mark as done. All right. So hopefully those numbers will update in just a second. All right. Now, so that's the only way that the student has been able to tell you that, is that they have clicked on a button. They didn't do any extra work here. They did do, they watched the video and they read inside the History Channel on that website, but they didn't have anything to fill out. Okay. All right. And no other directions to say to fill out anything. So, okay. All right, let's go back to the stream. And oh, look, it updated over here. One was turned in. Good. So you see that feedback there? There's a little bit of a delay, but that's okay. All right, I think we just have 2 more assignments, and then after that, we will let you all ask questions if you have any. So I'm going to click right here. This is a new assignment. And it says complete the reflection part of the attached HyperDoc. So right here, I have a HyperDoc to open, and I'm going to click on that. And if you were with me with my session yesterday, the Google certification session, we actually talked about Google Docs and building HyperDocs. And so in this one, there have a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and it asks, what are some of the events that may have caused him to age so much in these 5 years? And all of us as teachers, we know what caused him to age so much. It was the Civil War. So here they have a video to watch, so they can click on that and watch the video. And then down here, they have a space that the teacher has provided for them to type a reflection. So they can go right here and they can do a little bit of typing, and something like, poor President Lincoln, he aged 20 years due to the Civil War. Okay, now this is a HyperDoc. Remember, it's still a doc, a Google Doc, so it has a turn in button. Okay, so I'm going to click on turn in here. And it says, do I want to attach that work? Yes, the Google Doc that was named after me, Tessa Broyles, and then I click the turn in button. Okay, now again, those numbers over here should update. Now, if we also wanted to do something else, let me click on this. I'm going to click unsubmit. It updated. I'm going to click unsubmit and show you something here. So let's say that they wanted to go back into this document because they didn't feel like they added enough material or enough thought to it to get 25 points. Okay, so they can click unsubmit. And I can go back into this document and open it up. They also have an opportunity to add something else. So if they wanted to add or create something, such as a doc or a slide or sheet or drawing, they could attach that as well as part of their work. Okay, so you would see that when you open up their assignment when you started grading it. Okay, so that's something that they can do. If they wanted to add like a PDF or an image, that could be a file. They could do that as well. Or if they wanted to include a link to a website or something, maybe they're trying to get, bonus points for whatever reason, and maybe they're trying to go above and beyond what they were just assigned to do. So they're doing some more. Okay. Now, I don't want to do anything else here. So I'm just going to click turn in one more time and click turn in. And again, these numbers will update and reflect what's been turned in. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our stream. And there we have the update there. We'll scroll up over here on this side. And this next one is a little bit more difficult to deal with. And notice I'm getting really good feedback in the stream of the assignments that I have turned in. Okay, nothing's been graded yet, and this is not a grading session. It's just to show you, what you will see in the student view. Okay. So let's go into this assignment right here. All right, so it says complete the questions on the worksheet. Okay, so this is a PDF. All right, we've had some discussions about PDFs and what you can do to get around just showing a PDF to students. And here's the problem. When they open it up, all she is seeing is just this PDF. There's not a place to type in it because it's really just a picture. It's nothing more than a picture. So it's difficult for the child to actually complete this assignment. My suggestion to you is, for this one, it's really simple, is to attach a Google Doc with the numbers and then type this out for them, okay? So on a separate Google Doc and deploy it so each student has a copy. Use the make a copy for each student feature. Then they would have a copy of this, and you could cut this out as an image using your snipping tool as well, and just turn this into a Google Doc. It doesn't translate into a Google Doc easily, but if you make a new Google Doc as a new assignment, then you can put this picture in here, you can type out this information, and leave them some space for them to type. But right now, it's a struggle. They will not know what to do. Many of our kids don't have printers, so they can't print it out. So again, just kind of think ahead if you're trying to use a PDF, which we really rely on, a lot inside the classroom because it's so easy to run that copy machine. Here, it's different. It's very different when you're using distance learning. So now the other thing is maybe you might think that they could split their screen. So like they have, open this up and they have the PDF over here, and then they have their Google document that they're actually typing out answers here. They're looking here, but they're typing over here. Many of our kids are using Chromebooks. So I have the luxury of having a large screen here where I can fit both of these on here, and it looks pretty well, pretty good, pretty easy to see. Our kids using a Chromebook, not so easy, okay? So again, there's also, if you go back to our website, we have some videos on how to use Kami, K-A-M-I. And Kami is something that's free right now, and I think Josh and Ashley have done a couple of videos of how to convert PDFs to actual Google Docs. So that's gonna be a huge help. All right, so I don't know what to do here, and so I'm gonna just type out a little assignment. Mr. Broyles, I am not sure what to do with the PDF, and to let you know that I completed it. Okay, so make it easy on the kids. I know that we're used to doing that, but that's something that needs to change so that our kids have a better chance of turning that assignment in. And that is our goal. We want these assignments to be something that they can work through. We know it always takes them longer to do things online than it does inside our classroom. Discard changes. Oh, you know what? I need to send that. I need to send that real quick. All right, very good. So I'll go back to my class, and there we have that. Now, just a couple other things. When I go to classwork, and again, this is a student view over here. I'm gonna go to classwork, and I'll go to classwork over here as a teacher too, so you can see that. So here, all of the things that you have organized into topics for them show up the exact same way for them, okay? Yep, they can't move these around. I, on the other hand, can move this around, okay? So when I do that, then it's actually going to show up over here as how it's arranged for them. So whatever organization you have in your classroom is the exact, under classwork tab, is going to be the exact same arrangement that they have. So if you want to keep this nice and neat, that's going to really help your kids find their assignments. One of the things that they can do to actually see how well they are progressing is they can go over here to view your work. We don't have that button. So when we click on that, they can see all the assignments that they have done and see that it's turned in. And I don't think I've graded any of these, but it will show their grades as well. So I can click on this one right here. And notice it has that little comment box. It also has an attachment. So that means that in that assignment, that student has received a comment or made a comment, and there's also attachment with it, okay? So it just gives you an idea of what that assignment is, and also gives them a real easy way to see what they've turned in and what else they need to work on. Okay. All right, and there are filters here. You can filter it by assigned, return with grade, missing, so on. Okay. I just want to leave that off. All right, now I'm gonna go back here. And let's go to the People tab real quick, just so you can see that, how that looks. And notice, again, they don't have a Grades tab. They're gonna see all of their grades underneath the View Work, okay? So under People, it's for them and where they see classmates. They will not see a picture of themselves because this is really just their classmates and doesn't include them. Now, as a teacher, you're going to see all the students that are enrolled in your class right here. And there's that student that we're talking about right there. Okay. The emailing does not work inside Google Classroom, so you'll have to depend on Office 365 or depend on your Outlook client that you may have loaded on your machine. Okay. So they can't email each other, and that's okay though, because there's other ways that you can communicate with your kids. And I would like to point this out. On the stream, we actually had them allowed to, make comments and so forth. And earlier you saw where she could add a comment on the stream. I think that's really important if you can get your kids to be responsible with it, because that's going to give you feedback. And if I had not had a chance to actually reply to her comment that she made, then I could have or let another student reply. And if they're doing it appropriately, that's going to help you out in the long run so that you don't have to be attached to this 24/7. Okay? Because a lot of times the kids be working on it at different times than you're available just because of what's going on in their house. Okay, well, that is all that I plan to share with you today, and we're right at the 27-minute mark, so that's pretty good timing there. So if you have questions, you can, I'm going to go over here to the chat and look at those first, and then we'll give everybody an opportunity to unmute your microphone if you want to talk and communicate that way. All right, so thanks for coming today, and we'll move over to the chat room.